welcome once again to my lair of trash, where we collect only the finest garbage. I am Based Jalarian, and this is my haul for February of 2018. And, this was the month where I realized I might have a problem. I might need to stop myself. I've already made a list for March, and it's a very specific list of things that I need to get, and I need to stick to that list, and I'm not going to get anything else other than the stuff on that list. Because this is shameful. This is bad, even for me. But it's mine now. And first is actually a light novel. It's the only light novel I got this month. And that is Perfect Blue, which is the light novel that was the basis for Satoshi Kon's movie. I do believe that there's a second one coming out. I don't know if it is a continuation or if it's like a spin-off from Perfect Blue. I haven't quite gotten into this yet, but I'm really excited too, because I love Perfect Blue. And it's really cool of Seven Seas to have put out something that's really iconic in terms of just anime and manga and like general nerd culture. And yeah, I really can't wait to get into this light novel. Next up is going to take a quick explanation, because I've said in the past that I do not actively seek out rare, out-of-print shit. Like, you won't see me actively trying to find Mushishi or, like, Wandering Sun. You won't see me actively trying to find stuff that's iconically out of print and expensive. It's more like, but if I happen to come across it randomly in the wild somewhere, I can't contain myself, and I of course have to get it because I'm a goblin. And that would be, it's not complete, it's not the full series, but it's a majority of it, and that is the original Tokyopop publication of Blam. Now, some of these volumes are really out of print. Like, I did a quick search on Amazon, because that's how I check my shit, is just Amazon, because I don't do research. Is Volume 6 and Volume 10 especially are the most out of print. Volume 10 actually has a sneak peek for Noise, which is an even more expensive Tsutomu Nihei series that I'll probably never ever even touch with my small creepy goblin hands. They didn't have Volume 1, but they had Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4. They didn't have Volume 5, but they had Volume 6, which is one of the rare ones, apparently. I love this cover. This cover is my fucking favorite. It's so colorful and neat. Volume 7. Volume 8. And they did not have Volume 9, but they did have Volume 10, which is the complete series of Blam in the original Tokyopop release. Yeah. Maybe one day I'll come across the other 3 that I'm missing, but it's not a top priority at all. Up, we got another bulk series, and this was actually something I bought because of the nostalgia. It would be, Full Metal Panic. I went to another Second and Charles location I've never been to that's out in the middle of nowhere, so I can't normally go to it very often. And they had a wide majority of this series, so I decided to pick it up just for the sake of nostalgia, and I got Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. The only one that they were missing was Volume 4. Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, And the last volume, I do believe, is volume 9. Now, the only unfortunate thing about these was the way they were stocked on the shelves, because Second and Charles, they kind of don't really give a shit about how they store their manga. So these were packed really, really tight on the shelf. They were squeezed in there as tight as you possibly could have gotten them into a shelf. And so a lot of them are, I don't know if you can see this, but they're warped. That's not how I'm holding it. That's how the manga looks. And I'm trying to find a way to get them to lay flat again, because they're like in an S shape, and that's really unfortunate. If anybody knows like a good method to flattening out books that have been warped because they were put in a bookshelf too tightly, I would highly appreciate if you could leave a comment, because I kind of want these to not look like wavy. I picked up, you've seen this because it's something that I read for the February manga challenge, which the final installment of that I'm planning on putting it out later, maybe like later today or tomorrow, because I haven't quite read everything for today yet. So which is the last day of February, and that is Sword of the Dark Ones, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3, which were put out by CMX. And like I said in my February manga challenge video where these were featured, these are based off of a novel I have never read that was, to my knowledge, never published here in the States. And it is a continuation of that novel, not an adaptation of this novel. So there are like events that the characters will refer to that they all know like very well about, that you as the reader only know what you're told about in here. So you're pretty much wandering around in a fog for most of this series, because a lot of the character motivations and a lot of like the relationships between characters are based off of ones that were formed in the novelization, which was called Ragnarok, not Sword of the Dark Ones, but I understand why they had to change the title, because I think there's another manga called Ragnarok that was published here. It wasn't a very fun read. I got it because this is like 100% exactly how my husband designs characters, and I thought that was fucking hilarious, so that's why I bought it. Next thing I got is another CMX series, and this one is actually called Testarosso, and if you happen to be familiar with that name, you'll know that this is the same dude who did Erased. And I need to show you these spines, because check that shit out. That is some painful, painful shit. This was published while CMX was trying to figure out how they did their spine layout. So it's all like this one, which is all like basic and shit, and then it's like, let's continue that, but with like the actual like typography. And then they actually started doing like legit stuff around like volumes 3 and 4. So it's all like, ew, what the fuck? These spines don't match at all. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to see if they republished volumes 1 and 2 with the better spines. This series is probably the closest you will ever get to the book form of Crawling by Linkin Park. It is edgy, but not like the edgy that I do not like. It's edgy with a purpose. It is about this group of people who work for the church in this universe, and they go around killing these heretics, these people who are a part of like another fringe religious group that they feel are sinners. But it's a series where no one's really like the hero. No one is ever like strictly good or strictly bad. You see like the heroes doing all this shitty shit, and you see all like the people who are supposed to be villains doing like legitimately good things, like running an orphanage, or they got like actual like morals that would fit more with a hero than a villain. The one thing like bothered me the most about this series is the main female character, who can be seen on the front cover being like cradled very sexually by the main dude. She is, for all intents and purposes, useless as fuck. Like, she has no skills whatsoever. She's pretty much accepted into like this higher like classification from like the nunnery to like the people who do all the important shit in their church. and everybody around her does like cool like battle shit. Like main dude has like a big old fucking gun, and there's another kid who fights with like razor sharp wire, and she just stands around and just goes, oh no. And I got volume 1. Also the covers are different too. Volume 2, and then the covers suddenly change too, which also bothers me. Volume 3 and volume 4. The location that I went to where I bought these also had another series by this artist called Kamiyadori, but then I remembered that in his Manga That I Hate video, Apollo Gray also happened to mention Kamiyadori, and I've learned my lesson about not listening to Apollo Gray, because we might not have the same tastes in terms of manga that we like, but we definitely seem to share the same tastes in manga that we don't like. So I'm gonna listen to Senpai this time, and I did not buy Kamiyadori. And then this is for my manga completion challenge. I got the first 5 volumes of Bunny Drop. I got the first 4, which are by like everybody's admittance the better part of Bunny Drop, because that's like the sweet, innocent part of Bunny Drop that doesn't get fucking weird. And then volume 5, where she grows up and it starts to get bizarre. Like, I know how it gets weird, but I'm still gonna collect it anyway because I don't want to have an incomplete series. But next up, we're gonna go into new releases, or new-ish releases. Some of these are a little old. And the first one that I got was Silver Spoon, which just recently came out, and I haven't really gotten that much into it, but it is by Hiromu Arakawa, who, if you are into manga at all, you would know that she is the mangaka who did Full Metal Alchemist and the Heroic Legend of Arslan. This is not like those two series. It's not like a high fantasy adventure series. It's about this kid who enrolls into like an agricultural high school, and he learns how to like do like farmhand stuff. He learns about animals they can find on a farm and how to treat them, and it's like fish out of water story, and you kind of learn about like farm life through this like city kid. Next up was something I bought at the behest of my husband, because he also has a say in what I buy sometimes, and that is Daigo the Beast, which is actually, I think it's a actual real life story about this dude who was really, really good at fighting games, and that's all I fucking know about it. But he was really hype about it, so I can't imagine it's gonna be bad. It's a little thick. Next up, we have a very interesting title from Seven Seas, and that is Giant Spider and Me, a post-apocalyptic tale. And this is a really interesting manga because it's like a hybrid of like cute girl doing cute things mixed with like the absurdity of her best friend is this gigantic spider, and it takes place in like a post-apocalyptic world like it says in the title, and it's also like a cooking manga from what I've seen, and that is just really bizarre and cool to me. Next up, we have 2 volumes that, again, I am doing an individual video about these, and so I can't talk about them if I want to actually have a video's worth of content for them. I swear to God, I promised I'd make this video too much to be all like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. But that is Goldfish and Ocean of Secrets. Goldfish being a brand new release that just came out like last month, and Ocean of Secrets, which came out last year. Next up, we have Voices of a Distant Star, which is a single volume, which is the manga based off of the movie by Makoto Shinkai. I got the director right. I know who I'm talking about. I think this was actually originally published by Tokyo Pop, and it has been rescued by Vertical Comics. This is a manga that I keep on forgetting I bought. And I think the fact that I forgot that I got it, and I found it in my collection, and I was like, holy shit, I bought this, was when I realized that this month was bad. Because I have something in my collection that I bought this month that I forgot that I even fucking bought. And that would be the first volume of Takane and Hana, or Hana, Hana? Hana. And it is a new shoujo series from Viz, and they got like a new like logo going on down there at the bottom, if you can see that. That's pretty interesting. I haven't read this obviously because I fucking forgot that I fucking bought it. But it is a age gap romance. If you got a really bad taste in your mouth just now, this is probably not the manga for you, because the girl is 16 and the main male lead is 26, and that might rub some people the wrong way, and I understand if you totally don't want to get into that just for the sake of the fact that you don't want to see a 16-year-old being romanced by somebody 10 years her senior. Next up, we have a manga that I have a lot of feelings about, and I really want to talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about it ever since I finished reading it. And that is Hoe My Sweet Alien, which is a single volume manga. It's a 2-in-1 put out by Yen Press. And this is a mature manga. It's rated mature. It comes wrapped in plastic. And so you'd think that this is a very sexual series, but it really is not. It is a very pure series about this alien woman and this human man, and they're just trying to live their lives as husband and wife, and they're trying to build a family together. And it's just this really wholesome, like, story about family. The reason why this is rated mature, probably, aside from like just the titty, is the fact that the alien's natural state of being, she does not wear clothes. She just walks around in the buff all the time because that's just how she is. That's how she just walks around the house and does housework completely nude, and you see her alien titties all the time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only reason it was rated mature. But this is a wholesome kind of like family rom-com about this family made up of a human and an alien, and it's just such a cute manga. Next up, we have another 2-in-1 from Yen Press, and that would be Kimono Friends, Welcome to Japari Park. I watched like the first 6 episodes of Kimono Friends, and it's not that I didn't like it, it's just that when I watch anime, it's really hard for me to stick to an anime, which is why I have all this mangas, because I don't fucking watch anime. But from what I can tell, this isn't like the anime. I don't know where in, like, the Kimono Friends expanded universe this takes place, but I don't think it takes place in the one that we saw in the anime. Because it kind of takes place in, like, this really populated area full of people in this, like, park that has, like full-on cities and just a whole staff of people. And the Kimono Friends anime, at least the episodes that I saw, kind of took place in like a wasteland. So next is something that I bought last month, but wound up coming out this month, which was the confusion that I had, because I thought it was sold out, was Nameless, and I pronounced it wrong the last time. It's Nameless Asterism. And this is the one of the new Yuris that 7 Seas is putting out. Bless 7 Seas, the manga Yuri gods. But this one I really fucking like because if you just take a quick look at the character designs on the front, you can tell that none of these girls look alike. They all got different faces, they all got different eyes, they all got different body types, they have different hairstyles. The character design in this is absolutely exquisite, and it definitely stands out when compared to other Yuri series. It's also a love triangle where this character loves this character, but this character loves this character, and this character loves this character. And I was talking with my husband, and he read it too, and he was really interested, but we both really hope it's not like this continuous circle of misery between these 3 characters and their unrequited love for each other. I really hope that there's like some kind of resolution, but I mean, I'm pulling for like the happy polyamory ending, but polyamory isn't really something you see a lot in manga, so we're just gonna have to see where this Yuri threesome goes. So yeah, that's Nameless Asterism.